feminist is anything you want it to be. As a woman, I am promiscuous because I'm a feminist, but you can also be conservative because I'm a feminist. Modern day feminism is about you and what you make it, and not what someone 60 years ago said it was.
That does it. Woman, go and penetrate yourself.
Ask the ladies to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. Go ahead.
10.
10.
8.5. 10.
7.
8. Excuse me. 10.
Yes. I love it.
10.
10.
Now, I am Asian and I'm an absolute genius and I have never made a mathematical error in my life. Now, according to the cheek slaying cream goblin quadratic formula, she says she's a 10. Now take that 10, subtract 6, which equals 4. By 4, that definition is she is for the streets.
Yes.
I have a very big body count and I'm very happy, and I'm in
What's
stable romantic arrangements.
What's the body count?
Probably like 300 something.
300 something. Okay.
She belongs to the streets.
And you said, okay, 300.
Yeah, what about you guys?
Mine's at like 50.
50? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also at 50.
Your pussy stay.
50. Kiko, body count?
Men and women, or?
Let's separate them. What are the two?
Men, I'm pretty sure I'm at 5. Or, sorry, men at 7, women at 5.
Stop the cap.
It's not what you said last time.
You know what's crazy? And it actually is what I said last time.
Oh, you lied last time.
How can she sleep with 300 people? I barely even know 300 people.
Energy. Big dick energy.
I don't like this term, big dick energy or small dick energy, because everyone's about body positivity, right? How are we going to talk about men who have desirable characteristics have big dicks and men who have undesirable characteristics have small penises? There are some wonderful men with small penises and some terrible men with big dicks. Women can willy-nilly throw out big dick energy, small dick energy. If I started throwing out loose pussy energy as a term to describe someone that was undesirable in some way, I would get canceled. But loose pussy energy, bro, you get in trouble you say that shit.
There's other terms to use.
Cavernous vag energy?
Anyway.
Whenever you guys hear a girl say a guy has small dick energy, to translate this in the language of the woman needs, it is her way of shaming men for having standards that she cannot meet.
Most of y'all have small penises.
Now, ladies, let me tell you this. A small peepee is natural, but a wide pussy is man-made.
Most of y'all, listen, what camera am I looking? Most of y'all have small most of y'all have small penises.
But sweetheart, let me just say this. Even a 727 Boeing aircraft looks small when it's flying through the big, outstretched walls of the Grand Canyon. Enemy cream gobbler detected. Cream gobbler opinion rejected.
And I think there's more things I need to do single. Completely free.
More things you need to do single?
Yeah.
Like,
just like
a train? What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, eventually.
Okay.
I'm starting boy-girl content, so
Okay.
I feel like it'd just be easier.
The guy that you're seeing sort of, kind of, quasi sort of seeing right now, is he going to continue seeing you once you start the BG content?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
Here. Thank you so much for being here, first and foremost, and also I'm a master's student at Price. Thank you for standing up for Professor Moore.
Absolutely.
Obviously, with the obviously, in light of everything that's going on at the moment, we all believe rape and sexual assault are heinous crimes. We all want rapists behind bars, but I feel that in this climate, logic, evidence, and data are kind of being lost in translation, and also there's a very pervasive you're with us or against us mentality that's really doing a lot more harm than good. So my question to you is, how can we best stand up for the importance of due process and the presumption of innocence?
This girl is speaking so fast that the rap community call her feminem instead of feminist.
I'm fucking featherweight, I used to medicate until I get a fucking bellyache, and now I'm finna step on the pedal, don't wanna ever break, I wanna accelerate to
If you're with us or against us mentality that's really doing a lot more harm than good. So my question to you is, how can we best stand up for the importance of due process and the presumption of innocence while also doing what we can to support survivors?
Okay, so I think that there's actually a third question that I want to address that you didn't even ask. So I'll address the first two, and then there's a third one that I think is implicit in the first two. So when it comes to standing up for due process, the answer is that we actually have to stand up for it, even in cases where it makes us uncomfortable, or even where we believe that the person may be responsible for something bad, because once you lose due process for one, you lose due process for everybody, obviously. When it comes to standing up for sexual assault survivors, I think the idea that we ought to take everybody's first account with the respect it deserves means not dismissing, not downplaying, but it also means asking the proper questions in order to get at the truth. That doesn't mean intimidating people. It doesn't mean calling people liars without evidence that they're lying. It doesn't mean mocking them, obviously, God forbid. It doesn't mean doing any of those things. You know, I've throughout the Christine Blasey Ford thing, I keep saying over and over and over, I'm not calling her a liar. I'm not mocking her. I don't know if she's lying. I don't know if she's telling the truth. I don't know if she's misremembering. I don't know any of that stuff. All I know is that due process requires such and such to happen. Now, the real answer in the end to a lot of what's happening, and here's the really unpopular part with the left. The left destroyed traditional mores with regard to relations between the sexes. Destroyed them wholesale. So the original idea was that men were supposed to act with honor and chivalry in protecting women, and women were supposed to look for example, relationships just as men were. Sexual activity was supposed to be confined, this was at least the ideal, was supposed to be confined to committed relationships, particularly marriage. Not everybody lived up to that, but a huge number of people did. In fact, once people got pregnant, people basically got married. There's studies from the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s shows an awful lot of 7-month marriage babies, right? People who are sleeping together, getting pregnant, and then the couple gets married. When you don't teach men to protect women, you get men who will victimize women. And when you don't teach women that they ought to cherish men who are responsible and good, all you end up doing is incentivizing bad male behavior. The feminist movement was not wrong when they said men are acting like pigs. They were wrong when they said women also ought to act like pigs and that this is a solution to our problem. Because now what's happened is they got rid of all the traditional mores about how sex ought to be connected with love and ought to be connected with relationships. They got rid of all of that. It was just a bodily function now. Except when it comes to actual sexual assault, we treat that differently than any other bodily function, obviously. But that's the problem, right? So they create this standard where sex is basically a throwaway item, sort of like eating. And then we treat sex very differently when it comes to what we all know it is, which is a deeply important and intimate part of a person's life. And then we attempt to backdoor standards of consent that, frankly, don't make any sense in a real-life context. So you get college campuses in California saying that what you need is a yes means yes standard, where you have like a legal checklist, I guess, where every time you do anything in the bedroom, you're supposed to ask, am I allowed to touch your hand? Am I allowed to touch your shoulder? Am I allowed to touch your hair? Which has never ever resulted in actual fulfillment of a sexual encounter, right? I mean, it's sort of like, it's like Zeno's paradox. If you have a yes means yes standard, the closer you get, the further away you are. And and again, sex is, this is where women really gave up on marriage a lot too soon. Okay, marriage was the best thing ever for women. It is an amazing thing for men too, because it civilizes them, it cultures them, it teaches them to be protectors of their family and to take care of people and to think beyond themselves and to think beyond their generation. Women gave up in marriage a way to teach men to do those things. And also, women gave up the idea that a commitment was going to come along with this intimacy. And let's be real about this. I mean, every scientific study ever done has shown that women actually do have better sex in the context of committed relationships. All of the crap that you see in Cosmo magazine about sleeping with 100 guys and being sexually happy is just garbage. It is just sheer unadulterated garbage. No, long answer to a short question, but reinculcation of traditional roles of male and female with the same feminist respect that we ought to have for women at all steps of the process is the answer.
One of the biggest mistakes and one of the greatest cons ever perpetrated against women in the West was convincing them that sleeping around and dancing on a pool booty hole naked was considered empowerment.
Valuable during these ages and stages in your life, why not cash in now to get the best dude that you can possibly get? Versus when you're 30 years old and you get a dude, let's say you can get a dude right now who's, I don't know, closer 90% to your ideal dude, but when you get 30, you might get a dude that's 60% to your ideal dude.
You have to find your maturity to be able to be ready for that. And
Gotcha.
for girls, you have to go through things like little relationships, little hookups. You have to go through so much emotions that you eventually sit down one day and you're like, cool, I'm cool to find someone to sit down with for the rest of my life. And that's maybe how it's supposed to happen. Is it going to happen like that for everybody? No.
I wouldn't say our value like decreases as we get older. I think we become valuable in different ways.
No, false. When I say value, again, I don't mean you specifically to the world. I mean you specifically to the opposite
There's a
sex.
huge feminist lie that you're going to be happy as if you have a career and if you are a boss babe and like and I don't want to be a pick me girl. That's not why I'm saying this. If you want to have your career, you go for it. But I noticed for myself that I was doing that against my nature.
When you say pick me girl, define that.
Pick
I've heard
me,
that
you
term
know.
a bunch.
Yeah, I mean there are some girls out there that will say things just to please men.
Like a pick me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so maybe that's why
like
for
against
me
their
I'm
own
like,
interests or against their own beliefs, just to get
I would say
picked?
here's a great example. No shade, but some of the girls on Fresh and Fit, for example, will blindly agree with anything that they're being told so that they don't get abused, verbally abused or whatever, or kicked out or whatever. So that's like pick me is just maybe I'm saying it wrong. I don't even know, but I'm not gonna have an opinion just because I want to be accepted.
Gotcha.
This is my actual opinion.
This whole sequence reminds me of the term coined by Kevin Samuels when he said the majority of modern women want a traditional man, but yet they do not know how to be a traditional woman.
Have you ever cheated?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Many times. All the time.
I have. Yes.
Why?
Because we're bad bitches and we need to show the world that we're bad bitches.
Get the rocks. Yeah. Abdul? Yeah. Get the rocks. Get the rocks.
Probably one of such a stigma around it, I guess. Like especially like your first year of college or like being young in college or just being young at all. It's like
Stigma to not hook up?
no to like wait. I don't know if I said it right, but like I don't know. I just feel like
if you're not in the streets, what's wrong with you?
kinda yeah. I just feel like it's so normalized right now to like be hooking up with whoever you want, like whenever you want, every weekend, every time you go out. It's like get with someone.
This is exactly why I am against student loan forgiveness, because I thought college was about education, not getting fucking plowed.
What was your childhood dream? What did you want to do?
I wanted to be a lawyer.
And what do you do now? Only how's that going?
Pretty good.
Now, according to the book of King Busta Nut, chapter Thoughtaladians, it states, if she has an OnlyFans, you ain't her only mans, because if she takes her clothes off for the whole world to see, that girl does not get a relationship out of me, because that girl is flying through dicks like a halo banshee. She rolls from the cracks of the streets, and to the cracks of the streets she shall return. Gentlemen, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.